Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're looking at something literally game-changing for focused learners. If you have ever felt completely overwhelmed by a massive new subject, just staring at this mountain of information and wondering how on earth you're ever going to get through it, well, consider this your antidote. We're going to explore the absolute blueprint for accelerated learning, and we'll do it by introducing a pretty brilliant concept, building your very own expert brain city. This framework is going to fundamentally transform how you process, structure, and actually hold on to new information. It's going to save you hundreds of hours of frustration in the process.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's a question we've literally all asked ourselves at one point or another. Why do some people learn so much faster while others forget what they just studied? Have you ever spent hours reading, feeling like you're putting in all the effort, only to wake up the next day and realize the material has just completely vanished? It is incredibly frustrating, right? Why does it feel like some people absorb knowledge like a sponge, instantly grasping complex topics, while the rest of us struggle to retain what we literally just spent the whole evening looking at?
Well, it really comes down to this direct comparison. On one hand, we have rote memorization. This is that traditional, painful way of learning most of us were taught in school. You're trying to force isolated facts and dates into your memory through repetitive, exhausting review. It's tiring, and honestly, it rarely sticks. But on the other side, we have the ultimate goal: expert thinking. This approach shifts entirely away from mindless repetition to active comprehension. An expert doesn't just memorize isolated dates, they see the interrelated processes. They understand the why behind the facts and how everything connects to build a really strong, dynamic, overarching framework.
Here is the architectural blueprint for our explainer today. Step 1, cultivating expert thinking. Step 2, finding the 20% core. Step 3, building mental model maps. And finally, Step 4, retaining your new knowledge.
Let's jump right into Section 1, Cultivating Expert Thinking, Moving Beyond Memorization.
And that brings us to Section 2, Finding the 20% core, the foundation of your city.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this massive number. When you're faced with a huge new subject, a really common trap is thinking you need to learn every single detail right out of the gate. But accelerated learning strategies emphasize the exact opposite. You only need to identify and prioritize the foundational 20% of your current grade-level content. Why? Because locking down that specific core 20% acts as a powerful launchpad. It provides a central scaffolding that naturally unlocks the vast majority of the remaining knowledge for that entire subject. You aren't doing less work. Actually, you're just doing the smart work first.
Finding this foundational core acts as your master key. Think of this as a strategic concept prioritization method, which, is really just a fancy way of saying you pinpoint the absolutely essential information needed to unlock the rest of the subject. Instead of wasting time on extensive, exhausting reviews of 1,000 minor details, you focus your energy entirely on this master key. This method accelerates your progress incredibly fast because you're grasping the governing rules of the topic. You're building your confidence and your capability right from the ground up.
Let's move on to Section 3, Building Mental Model Maps, Constructing Your Brain City.
For this step, I want you to think of yourself as a master builder of knowledge. True experts connect ideas together like glowing bridges in a sprawling metropolis. Nothing exists in isolation, right? To build your own mental model map, you just follow 3 distinct steps. Step 1, write down the massive new concept you're trying to learn. Step 2, identify a real-world anchor, basically something from your everyday life that you already understand perfectly. And Step 3, draw lines and pictures to physically show the connections between the new concept and your familiar anchor.
Let's actually put this into practice so you can see how brilliant this is. Say you're trying to learn the complex geological process of how rivers shape land over thousands of years. Now, that is a massive, highly abstract concept. But what's your anchor? It's the water flowing down your kitchen sink while you do the dishes. By linking this huge, abstract scientific idea to a highly familiar, everyday visual, like how the water carves a path through the soap suds, your brain instantly bridges the gap. The complex learning just clicks into place because it's piggybacking on something you already inherently understand.
Let's look at an even tougher subject: economics. The concept of supply and demand can sound incredibly intimidating, but listen to this. This economic principle works exactly like how popular toys at Christmas always sell out quickly and then stores raise the price. It really is that simple. Your real-world anchor is the absolute frustration of trying to buy that one sold-out toy in December. The system is just how the intense demand for the toy drives up its price. You literally map the new, difficult system directly onto a human experience you already know and feel.
The beauty of this framework is that the mental model map empowers absolutely everyone. First off, you aren't just memorizing floating trivia. You're integrating new knowledge directly into your existing structure of self, making it incredibly hard to forget. For English language learners, this is a huge breakthrough. It links abstract vocabulary directly to visual, real-world examples, completely breaking down the language barrier. And for advanced learners, this is exactly how you explore the deep, hidden nuances within a discipline and uncover those brilliant, overarching generalizations. Every single learner, no matter their starting point, benefits from building these robust mental bridges.
So the crucial point is making sure this beautiful new city stands the test of time. Section 4. Retaining your new knowledge. Maintaining your mental infrastructure.
To maintain your mental infrastructure, you need the right tools. The first is the famous Feynman technique. This is an incredibly effective method that focuses entirely on simplifying complex ideas. Think about it. The true hallmark of expert thinking is the ability to take something highly complicated and explain it simply to a complete beginner. If you can't explain it simply, well, you don't truly understand it yet. This technique fosters active comprehension because the moment you struggle to explain the concept out loud, you've immediately pinpointed the exact gap in your understanding. You know precisely which bridge in your city needs reinforcing before it collapses.
The second maintenance tool is spaced repetition. Look, you don't just cram the night before and walk away expecting it to last forever. Think of the journey. You do your initial learning on day 1. Then you intentionally step away, let the brain rest, and do a first bridge review on day 3. You follow that up with a second bridge review at week 1, and finally, a long-term city integration review at month 1. By revisiting the material at these precise, mathematically spaced intervals, you interrupt the brain's natural forgetting curve and permanently reinforce the structural integrity of your mental map.
Which brings us to our final thought today. You have the blueprint. You know how to find the 20% core, how to anchor it to your everyday reality, and exactly how to maintain it through space and time. So what will your map look like? Don't let this just be another explainer you enjoyed and then forgot. Write down your next big concept right now. Find your real-world anchor and start building. The blueprint is yours. How vast will you make your city? Thanks for exploring with me, and happy building.